welcome to our info session for our upcoming course, Essentials for Small Manufacturers. We're glad you've joined us and we're really excited to be offering this course. We'll be getting into the details of the course here today. So for starters though, we'll do some quick introductions. I'm Hannah Curtis, and also with us today is Michelle Flores. We are coordinators with the North Metro SBDC, that's Small Business Development Center, and we'll be facilitating the course. So we're here for any questions you might have, logistics you might need to work through, if you need help connecting with other consultants, etc. We're here to help you through the course. So we're also joined by lead manufacturing consultant, Jaggers. John is the instructor for the course and is an expert in all things manufacturing. So we're excited to learn from him, and we'll also feature some guest speakers along the way. So John is going to get into an overview of the course content in just a minute, and then we'll have some time for question and answer towards the end. That'll be facilitated by Michelle. But first, I'll just get through a couple of the logistics. So the course is 6 weeks in length. It'll be held on Thursday afternoons through Zoom from 3 to 5, starting on March 4th. And there will be a 1-week break in the middle. The class will not meet on March 25th, so you'll get that week to catch up on assignments and review any sessions you may have missed and so forth. And the course is specifically targeted to owners of small manufacturing businesses with fewer than 20 employees who are in business and producing and distributing a product and looking to grow. And the exciting thing is we are offering this course statewide. So it's a great opportunity to learn from other businesses throughout Colorado, which is really fun. So the tuition is $195 for the whole course, and scholarships are available. So we encourage you to reach out about scholarships if that would help your situation. And we do use an online learning platform, which is very easy to use, and it's where we'll be posting the recordings of the classes. There will be assignments in there for you to complete to help move your business forward, and other helpful resources to equip you during the course. And even after the course has ended, you can download those and refer back to them as needed. So feel free to type in any of your questions in the questions tab on your GoToWebinar panel. That's exactly what this time is for. And while you're thinking of those questions, I will turn it over to John to explain the course content a bit, and I will put up some slides here. It's just practicing, so we'll see how this goes. I'll do that. We'll give us 1 second here.
Okay, well, I know you're still working on that, Hannah, but I'll get started. As Hannah said, and thank you, Hannah, thank you, Michelle, for your great support. My name is John Jaggers. I am a lead consultant for SBDC. Have been for the last 7 years. Prior to that, I spent 25 years in manufacturing and management with some really good Fortune 500 companies, where I learned many of the tools that we're going to discuss both today and during the course. So starting off, before we even get into the slides, I have a couple of comments. First of all, I want to, if you're on here today, or if you do decide to be part of the class, thank you for being a participant. And we're going to have a lot of interaction, so it's going to be, I think, a really fun time. But first and foremost, congratulations on really the courage, the tenacity, and the resolve that you have shown to get through the COVID pandemic. It's been a very trying, stressful times, and running a manufacturing operation, even in good times, is always a tremendous challenge. So you're to be congratulated on where we're at. You know, luckily we can see the vaccine light at the end of the tunnel. But it's going to really be another 6 months before we get to the new normal. And we're going to spend a lot of our time talking about, during those 6 sessions, what our strategy will be to both prepare for what's going to be the future state, whatever that is, and to get through the next 6 months in a healthy physical manner. So let's go into the slides. This is Essentials of Manufacturing Post-COVID Tactics. So we're going to cover a little bit of ground here, but this is the things that we will discuss. So during the different classes, we will put together a well-defined strategic plan. We're going to make sure that financial tracking is in place. We're going to talk about employee training plan. We're going to talk about the use and application of software. We're going to do some training on lean manufacturing, which you may or may not be familiar with. And then the very second to last class, we're going to talk about how to put a good aggressive marketing strategy in place. So that's the concepts we will discuss. The next part is okay. Go into readiness check, I guess. No, go past that. The next slide. And one more. Okay, so
there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. So COVID lessons on pivoting. The different lessons that we're going to go through is really from a standpoint of where you were last year and where you are today. We're going to evaluate your current product line. We're going to look at the application of automation and technology. We're going to look at e-commerce. E-commerce is from a standpoint, even as a manufacturer, to have a good aggressive e-commerce program is critical. And then we're going to talk about some techniques of how to hire and train employees, because you've probably gone through a cycle of where your sales were down, and unfortunately you had to lay some employees off, so you'll be doing some rehiring and training, and we'll talk about training techniques to get through that. Okay, and then we want to take a look at and make sure that your current business operation is in good shape, and those things that are critical for the next 6 months are certainly cash flow, and we're going to have a good discussion on financial reporting and financial preparedness. The other things that are important right now is, do you have products that are going to sustain the business over the next 6 months to a year? Do you have a staff in place that will be able to multitask? Because you're probably going to have less employees that are going to do more in the beginning. Then the other thing is, we're going to talk about really your leadership approach as a manufacturing owner, from a standpoint, in these very trying times, we need to be looking at continuous improvement. No matter what part of the operation, we still need to be looking at how we can improve, and part of that comes primarily from the lean manufacturing. And then we're going to talk about process systems to ensure a high level of quality and customer delight, because again, that's going to be key, getting old customers back or new customers on board. So go ahead, go to the next slide. So I don't know if you've heard this term or not, but Pinup Demand is really what's going to happen probably in the next 6 months. Meaning once we have herd immunity in place, everybody's going to be out and about, and they're going to have that pent-up spending and demand for products that we haven't seen in the past. I did a little research looking at some of the Fed numbers that these came out in January. Basically, what it says was 2020 was the GDP was down 2.4%. 2021 is anticipated to be up 4.2, which is unheard of. And then 2022, 3.2, and then 2023 back to a fairly normal number at 2.4%. So there is going to be without a doubt, there is going to be a demand for your products. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So part of the key that we will discuss is how do you get ready for it? What's your timeline for rebuilding? You're going to have to, and we'll discuss this, how to forecast your sales. It's a big part of the rebuilding process from a standpoint of hiring, training, building up your inventory for whatever the product is. And so forecasting is going to be a really key element. And we'll talk about a little bit about talking to your key customers and getting their outlook for the balance of this year. You know, they probably have some idea of where they're going to go. A lot of this is going to be a little bit on the guesswork side, but I think that as we go through the class, you'll see it comes together. And then, like I say, you're going to make plans for staffing and training. We will talk about some of the stimulus grants and loans that are available. It's going to be one of our week's discussion. And then how to best take advantage of technology and innovation to streamline your processes, because it's going to be key. And again, it's a different world. In the new state, it's going to be very important that you use software and technology to get ahead of the game. And I have a lot of different softwares and applications that we'll talk about that are not difficult to learn and are not that expensive, but they do put you at an advantage from a standpoint of a manufacturer. So that's the overview. I think it's going to be the other piece that we didn't discuss is Hannah touched on it a little bit. This is going to be very interactive. So from a standpoint of both dealing, you will be talking to other students and sharing ideas and networking ideas, but also you're going to have the opportunity to talk to me offline from a standpoint of I'll have a calendar set up, and anytime you have a question or a problem or want more explanation of the topic that we're going to be covering that particular week, that I will be available. And even beyond that, SBDC is great from a standpoint of they do provide free consulting. Really, you know, I have some clients that I've worked with for the last 6 years, and they still come to me from a standpoint of getting consulting. I kind of keep them on track to all the different things that we are going to talk about, and then we'll go from there. So I will be available as well as any other of the consultants at SBDC. Okay.
Great.
So do we have any questions?
Yeah, that's really helpful, and I think you really hit it on the head with the consulting, and of course the content we're going to go through is very important and very needed, and there will be dynamic conversations coming from it to help businesses move along. But the great thing about this course that we're really excited about is that businesses don't have to go through this alone. That they have the guidance from consultants who are experts in this field, such as yourself, and help from our other consultants as well. And they can learn from their peers, other businesses that are going through the same sorts of issues they may be dealing with. So we're really excited about that peer-based learning and also having the expertise and guidance. So we're just really excited, and thank you for that overview. And Michelle, have there been some questions come in?
Yes, actually. So our first question is coming in from Steve. So you mentioned the application of lean manufacturing. Can that apply to my small business?
Yes, that's a good question. Absolutely. The concept of lean is in manufacturing, or really any type of business, is to eliminate waste. And so we will go through some very simple tools, including 5S and Kanbans, and you're going to learn all the different tools. None of them are complex, but in fact, I've got some clients that have maybe 2 or 3 employees, but we still apply lean because it's amazing how much waste that there is within a process. So yes is the answer.
Great. So our next question is coming in from Brian. Will we be covering detail on the stimulus grants / loans that are and will be available?
Absolutely. During week number 2 of the class, we're going to have one of our financial experts along with Hannah and Michelle that we will cover how those stimulus packages apply, PPP and EIDL in particular, and so you'll get the opportunity to learn and take advantage.
Great. Thanks, John. So our next question is from Mark. How will the SWOT analysis help define my short-term and long-term strategy?
Well, okay, so I don't know if you're familiar with what the SWOT stands for. It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so it's really a simple exercise that we're going to go through together that will demonstrate really what you should focus on very clearly over the next year to 2 years. And we will come up with some what I call tactical initiatives. So it's six or seven major initiatives that you're going to focus on. And those typically are financial, they're efficiencies, they are marketing, but they have enough detail to them that it'll give you some direction as to where you need to focus your time. You're going to be, I know this is a corny saying, but you're going to be working on your business, not in your business, even though you are in it all the time, but you must work on it to improve it.
Great. So the next question is from Leslie. What do you think is the most critical piece of my organization's financial outlook and forecast?
Absolutely, the most important piece is your cash flow. You have to do, and we will go through this with you week 2, but you need to evaluate, where your cash flow is today and where you anticipate it's going to be over the course of the next 6 months to a year. The other part, which helps drive cash flow, is your sales forecast. And again, we will talk about the how-to put together a good sales forecast. Not going to be perfect by any means, but it's going to give you I think, a pretty good guide of where your sales will come in at.
Great. So Kelly asks, how detailed will the marketing segment be? Can I walk away with a better understanding of e-commerce?
We are going to we'll bring in one of our marketing experts on I believe it's week 5, and we provide a really decent overview of what an effective marketing strategy looks like. Now we're going to cover every little piece of it, not necessarily, but we're going to give you a really solid overview, and you can take advantage of some of the marketing specialists that work for North Metro SBDC, and they will help you along. In fact, right now, I know it's too late for this session, but one of our consultants is running a digital marketing boot camp, and that's a lot of detail to that. So, but we'll give you a good overview.
Great, thanks. So Liz asks, where should we go if we need help with accounting and marketing our business?
North Metro SBDC. Okay, so you'll get a good feel for I think the groundwork of where you need to be during this class. But again, you take advantage of the consultants and their expertise. We have some really fine consultants both in the financial arena and in the marketing arena. So SBDC.
Great, thank you. So Brian has another question. He's asking, can you please explain the difference between continuous and intermittent manufacturing and what would be best for my business?
Well, okay, so if I understand the question, and I think I do, continuous manufacturing would be almost along the assembly line approach to manufacturing, meaning that you're constantly building product versus what I would call piece manufacturing, where you're intermittently making product. For example, I have one client who was doing piece manufacturing, but because during COVID, we were able to get him an idle loan, and he bought some automated packaging equipment. So now that runs as an assembly line, and he doesn't run it all the time, but his sales are starting to look good. He runs it more and more every day. So I got a feeling that we're going to be, just knowing what I know so far, that and most of our students, it's going to be piece manufacturing. Okay.
Great. So then Mark has another question. He wants to know if I don't already have a formal strategic plan?
Well, you came to the right place, because we are going to develop one for you, and so we will do all of the groundwork to lay that out. And I guess, again, as I mentioned earlier, the beauty is that I can personally follow up with you, if you so desire, on those tactical initiatives that are part of the strategic plan to move forward. And typically what I do is I have a Zoom call with each one of my clients once a month, and we go through the strategy as to where they're at. And it serves as a reminder that these are the things that they need to focus on. So it works pretty good.
Great. Well, that's all the questions I have on this end, Hannah. I don't know if any more came in on your side.
Yeah, I think that answers all our questions very well. So thank you for making all of that so clear, John. I think that's just so important that, every business needs a strategy, and it can feel daunting to, where do I start? What components do I put into my strategic plan? So to know that we can walk you through that, and each week we'll build a component of your strategic plan, what could be better in our mind. So we hope that you will all join us for the course, again, starting March 4th. It'll be Thursdays, 3 to 5 on Zoom. You can inquire about scholarships and registration, and ongoing consulting, as John mentioned, northmetrospdc.com. So we look forward to having you all join us. Michelle and John, thank you for your time today. Are there any last words that you want to leave our audience with?
Thank you so much, Hannah. I really look forward to our class participants. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody, for attending.